I'm James Sinclair, a solo artist in Middlesbrough, and thanks for watching The Scene.
So how long have you been playing the guitar?
I've been playing about 10 years now. I started when I was 16, bought a cheap guitar from a second-hand shop, and then I've just been playing, well, since then.
Oh, so you started at a pretty young age then,
Yeah.
Are you in any bands or anything, or have you been in any?
I've been in a few bands over the last sort of 8 years, really. Like I say, 10 years ago I started guitar, but a couple of years after that
Yeah.
I got into drumming, and I've been in 3 or 4 different bands.
What was your first ever band?
The first band was called the Rare Breeds, and we just did like a sort of like a rock and roll band, indie band, and played drums for them.
Have you been wanting to go solo since you started? Or have you always
Well,
wanted to be in a band?
Yeah, well, I've been solo since from the very beginning, like I say. I was playing guitar before I ever got into playing drums, which was what I did with the band for the last 8 years. But I've always wanted to do my own music, play my own songs, and as a drummer in a band, you don't get the opportunity that much to come forward and get your music out there, you know.
Are you focusing on your solo work now?
Yeah, well, it's all pretty much on my own. I mean, I've had offers of people to play with me in as a band type of thing, but what I'm tending to do now is just basically do my own thing, rely on no one but myself, and be able to do my own music in my own way, which is a sort of a selfish thing to think, you know, with other people offering to play behind me, but until I'm dead set on what I want to do, then I'm happy.
So going back to your early years of playing, who gave you the inspiration?
Well, my inspiration before I even picked up the guitar was Oasis. I grew up in obviously the 90s. You know, all the classics like, you know, Oasis, Blur, and then sort of modern day stuff, The Strokes, Athlete. But my hero would be Eric Clapton.
Is there any reason?
Well, just because of his longevity in the music industry, but he's always stayed true to what he wanted to do in the first place, which was blues. All he went and did his, you know, rock and roll thing. But his capabilities on the guitar, his diversity between, you know, electric and acoustic and blues and rock. But he's sort of my idol.
So how often do you get to play now?
Well, I play every day at home, practice. You know, I mean, I could probably say, apart from when I've been away and stuff like that, I probably haven't had a day in the last 10 years where I haven't touched a guitar, you know. And that's the way it should be for someone, you know, that wants to do it. But I play with gigs now, going back from playing in bands. The gigs now are, you know, I'm starting again, you know what I mean? So the gigs could be, you know, once a month, once every 2 months now. But I'm hoping in the near future to sort of get, you know, a few contacts on board and then to start again and get the ball rolling again with my own music.
Which one stands out to be your best gig?
I enjoyed the Empire. That was a good gig with my second or third band, The Outlaw. We did a gig there and there was a lot of people turned up, which is a good thing, because we have played into pretty much, you know, the bar staff before, which happens to everyone. But the Empire stands out as a good one, and the Arena as well, supporting a few good bands.
Do you write all your own songs?
Yeah, all my own stuff. Everything that I've done, I mean, I play covers and stuff at gigs and all that, but everything that I've done, you know, it's recorded, it's online on CD and stuff. It's all original, so it's all my own music.
What sort of artists provide your inspiration?
Towards the end of the last band, we listened to a lot of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. It was, I can't remember the name of the album now. It was an acoustic album, and it was sort of half rock, half blues type of thing, which I'm into anyway from the Eric Clapton thing, you know. And that was a big inspiration for me. And also, like I said, the band Athlete, not because so much the music's good, but I wouldn't liken myself to them. But lyrically, I think they're really thoughtful lyrics, you know, which I like to sort of convey myself. This song's about something, you know.
So does your performance differ from when you do a gig to the sounding on your track?
Yeah, well, it does, because on this, what's recorded is well, basically like a full band. You've got 2 lots of guitars on most tracks. You've got bass and drums, and then it's maybe backing vocals and vocals as well. But when I perform, it's me and a guitar, you know. So it's sometimes difficult to sort of convey that through just one guitar and one person, especially when you're in a crowded pub and only 10 people are listening. But that's why I've kept a lot of my songs simple, and a lot of them acoustic, just acoustic as well, But stuff like backtracking, that needs that production behind it to try and get the feeling across. Convey the sort of image of the song, type thing.
Do you record your own music, or do you go somewhere to record it?
No, I record it all at home. I have been in the band and stuff. We've gone into professional studios and that, but it's been a sort of learning curve for me with 8 tracks. It started on a cassette player, just recording me and a guitar. Got an 8-track digital multi-tracker. Started layering tracks and looping things, and then playing, bass and doing drum tracks and stuff on there. But everything that I've recorded up to now that's on, on CD and that is all just on an 8-track. Yeah.
So what would you class as your best work?
My best work, I think, would probably be backtracking, because it's poignant. It means something. There's a story behind it, So I think, but there's other things like Why Do We Do It, which is about, which sort of means something to more people. So but I think personally, my favourite song is Backtracking.
So what inspired you to write it?
Well, it's a story really centred around one person. That's my granddad, on my mother's side, and he was quite an eccentric bloke. He died about 10 years ago or more, I think now. And the inspiration came one day when I was looking through a box of photographs, and I found a picture of him in his sort of prime, and towards the end of his life, I knew him as this sort of shadow of his former self, and I thought, it's a shame not to be able to convey what's in that picture that I'm looking at there. And I thought, the first line, the first verse, is about this little trait that he had, which was when it snowed, he'd leave his house backwards and walk down the drive. So he said, burglars think I've just got in. And I thought that was really clever back then. And the reason for that was, that started the song off. Yeah. But the song from there just sort of wrote itself. But I thought, with what he'd done, he'd done loads of things. He'd worked all his life and he'd helped people out, unemployed, back into work and stuff like this. And he was like a genuine bloke, who'd help anyone out type of thing. So for me to convey that through a song and forget about the sort of shadow of his former self type of thing that I knew just before he died was like me remembering him type of thing, not having an adult relationship with him and stuff, which was sort of good and comforting for me to be able to sing that song thinking, that's the person that I remember, although I wasn't there for all of it,
Yeah.